If you're the kind of person who wonders or thinks about, okay, how do I become successful? How do I create success? Or how do I achieve success in anything I want to do in my life? That this is something that would really, really help you a lot. Before I really go deep into telling you the strategies and the core tactics on how you can create success and what the ultimate formula for success is, I want to tell you a story. It's a story about myself. This was back in 2006. Yes, six. So there was this opportunity that came to me. I was invited by somebody who had a photography studio in Lagos that I should come and snap for them because I was snapping at the time. That was one of the things I was doing back in school. So he said I should come. I should move to Lagos to come and snap with them, right? And I was I was so pumped by the idea, and I really wanted to grab it by with everything I had, right? And I told my mom where I was staying with at the time. I said, "Mom, this is the opportunity that just came on, and I really want to go for this thing." And she said, "Okay, don't worry, no, don't worry, son, don't worry. I will pray about it. Let me just pray about it." My mom goes to church a lot, so she'll say, "Let me pray about it," right? And she went to the church. After like 3 days, she was not saying anything. I was getting worried and tired. I was like, "Okay, what's up, mom? This thing I told you, guy is really disturbing me." And she said, she actually prayed about it and talked to a pastor about it at the time. And the pastor said, what if I go there and something goes wrong and this, that. So for that reason, she wouldn't allow me go. Man, I was so frustrated. I was angry, even because we're not doing fine. There was no money. I wanted to make money, right? My spirit was pumped to make money. And now I have an opportunity to, work in the studio, what I was looking for a very long time. And my mom was stopping me. And then I realized that from time to time, right? When opportunities like this always come my way, when I tell my mom, out of the the love, to protect me, she would always find something wrong with the opportunity. You might also relate to this in your life where you might have something that you want to do in your life and you tell somebody about it, right? And they would somehow just give you some discouraging ideas and say, no, this thing will not work, or this thing might go wrong, or this thing might not happen, and this thing might not work. And I started paying attention to this thing in my own life. And at the age of 19, something happened that forced me to make a very strong decision. And the decision was, what happened actually was, my mom, I heard at that night she we're going through a lot of things. There was no money to pay our bills, our rent, and they had already given us quick notice to leave the house. So it was just me, my mom, and my younger sister at the time. So there was no one to come and help us. So that night, my mom came home. She was drunk, so she was just screaming, crying, rolling on the floor, like she was just saying, "God, please take my life. I'm tired of living. I'm tired of living. Take my life. I want to die. Take my life." Suffering all the time. So at that point, I was like, I knew that that was my wake up call to make a move, because it pained me that this is a woman that has been there for me since I was born. Who gave birth to me at the age of 15, and from that moment forward, she has been there. Trying to do everything she can to make sure that I have life and have better opportunities, right? And now I felt like she needed my help, but there was nothing I could do to help her. And that moment, I really, really, it hit me like this, man, bro. It's time to move. Like, I was not willing to listen to any caution anymore, that okay, maybe this thing will work, or maybe it was not going to work. I took a step forward and I said, man, the next day, packed up my bag and I moved. That was the day I left home for good. Like I said, I was going back to school. I was not coming back like until I made money. So that was what started me on my journey on taking my destiny on my hand, right? That moment forced me to start taking my destiny, because I knew that nobody was coming to save me, and my mom, nothing was happening. Like, my mom was not was has done her best, but nothing was changing, right? I knew that nothing was really going to happen. Are we still going to continue waiting for God to come and give us the right opportunity, or we're still going to continue praying for things to change, or what? I was like, man, enough is enough. I have to move, right? And that forced me at the age of 19 to start a journey that has really, brought so much joy and peace in my life. You know, I'm not saying that everything is so rosy, rosy. No, no, no. Still struggling in the journey, still trying to figure out my way and trying to balance myself and, chase the dream. But at the end of the day, what I can say is this, I've really been able to change so many circumstances in my own life and, rewrite my entire destiny. Like I had to take that on my hand. So what is the thing that made me, that forced me to do that? Because there are a lot of people who came from the same environment like I did, who were exposed to the same information. But right now, I can tell you 15 years, 11 years later, they are still in the same place, doing the same thing every single day. And nothing is changing, right? And the reason is this: if you want to create success, like if you want to achieve any goal in life, the first step in achieving any goal is number one. This is the ultimate. I want to give you the ultimate formula for success. It's something that I've really studied for a very long time before I really found it. I found out what it is. Right? I was using it for a long time. I didn't know, but But recently, when I started thinking about my entire life, started thinking about the decisions I've made and the things that have really forced me to climb to where I am right now, still climbing this journey, I realized you have I think, four very major, steps that I really take in my life every single time. And when I paid attention, started studying these most successful people in the world, I realized these four major steps were also the same steps many of them take to achieve the results they have. The first step is you must get clear on the results or the outcome you want for your life. Many people do not know what they want for their life. Let's be very, very honest. Can you confidently tell me that yes, in the next 10 years, this is who I want to be? Or yes, in the next 1 year, this is the person I want to be. This is the thing I want to achieve. I'm not just saying some bullshit aspirations like just wake up in the morning and tell yourself, oh, I'll be a billionaire someday. No, I'm talking about having conviction on what you want to achieve for your life. Like this is something I know that I will achieve. The life I have today is something that I saw 11 years ago. 10 years ago. That was when I started picturing the life I had, right? That was when I started really seeing it in my mind that this is the vision I wanted for myself. I don't want this vision that I was coming for. I don't want this reality that I was born into. I want a better vision for myself, right? So it's the life I have. It's a picture I painted in my life 11 years ago or 10 years ago that I have today. So what I'm saying is this: get clear on the life you want to live. Get clear on it. It's very, very important that you get clear on it. Very, very important, because if you are not clear on that life, then you are going to be stuck in this loop of working hard all your life in vain without ever growing to any level. You just be in one. I don't know if you've seen certain people in your life, or if you've paid attention to certain of your uncles, aunties, maybe your parents, who they worked hard. They really, really worked hard. Like, kudos to them. They worked very, very hard. But at the end of the day, nothing really, from year to year, it was as if they were in the same place. Nothing was really growing. They was just working hard to survive. They was just working hard to survive. They will tell you all the things that, they never even talk about what they want. They just focus on working hard to survive. That's because majority of the time, right, 99% of individuals who are working this head do not know what they want to achieve for their life. They don't know. They only know, what other people want them to achieve. They only know that my parents want me to become a lawyer. So therefore, I want to be a lawyer. My parents want me to become a doctor. So therefore, I need to go to school and become a doctor. Right? Oh, I need to become so because I think in this environment, the people who are making money are so. For instance, in the environment I grew up in, the people who were making money, young people were making money there were people were doing Yahoo, right? So it was easy to say, okay, oh, because this was what was really, happening that was making people successful. It's easy for anybody to say, okay, let me just do that, because that was the general thing. That was what everybody was doing. That is the so-called norm in our society. Because why? That individual do not know, have not seen clearly what picture they've painted for themselves. They've not really identified the life they want to create for themselves. And without that first step, it's going to be very impossible for you to achieve anything. When you want to go to the university, what's the first thing you choose? You choose the course you want to read, right? You choose the course, then you go and apply for that department that's offering that course, or the career rather. When you want to travel, what's the first thing you choose? The destination. Because when you get the destination right, it's going to be very, very easy for you to get every other thing right. So for instance, I'm going to Dubai. Okay, I decide I want to go to Dubai next month. What do I need to do next? Okay, I'm going to Dubai. Which airline am I going to use to fly to Dubai? Am I going to use Turkish Airline? Am I going to use Qatar? Am I going to use Air Peace or what's the other one? Kenya, what's the other one they call it? Whatever. You choose the airline. Even if you are traveling within your country, you choose the destination first, then you choose the bus company you are going to use, the transport company. This is why it's very, very important in your life. The first thing you really identify right now is get clear on the thing you want to achieve in your life. If you cannot think about, okay, what is the overall goal for me? What is the overall outcome? Then think about what do you want to achieve in the next 1 year. Most people make it this illusion of trying to get into every year without a clear picture of the result they want to achieve. That's why they only get motivation within the first month of that year. Oh, New Year resolution, new me. This year I will do this, I will do this. After like 2 months, they go back to the normal doings. They forget because they've not really identified the future they want for themselves. It's very important you get clear on this. Because when you have a burning or a compelling future for yourself, you wouldn't be limiting yourself to just surviving in life. You wouldn't be limiting yourself to just surviving. Rather, you'll be finding ways, right, to take the action, which brings us to the second step. Once you get a compelling future for your life, the second thing is you need to create a plan and start taking action on your plan. You need to create a plan. What's the plan you are going to use to create that life? I'll give you an example. I want to build a house. What's the first thing I need to do? I have to go find a way to make money. Once I make my money, then what's the next thing? I buy a land. Once I buy a land, what's the next thing? I get an architect to create me a fine plan. I give them the vision I have for my house. Man, I want this house to have a pool at the backyard, to have my kids playing ground here, to have this here, my master bedroom here, my walk-in closet here. I give them the picture that I want for this house, and they will now go use that my idea to go create a blueprint, a plan for that house. So that when I get my plan, what I need to do next is give that plan to an engineer to start taking the actions according to the plan. Because if you don't have a plan to build that house, guess what will happen? You will lay your foundation, then you realize, oh, I want the room to be here, or let me just change it. And before you know, you change, and you will never, ever get that house achieved because you don't even know what that house look like, right? So you need to create a plan for your life, not the plan that society gave to you. Many of us are living with the same plans that society gave us. Go to school and just become employees. That's the plan that society gave us. The only way to become successful is to go to school and become employees. That's the plan that society gave us. The only way to become successful is to go to church, pray fast, and hope that God is going to have mercy on us and give us what we want. That's the plan that society gave us. So for you, you have to create your own plan for your life. What's the plan you are going to use to create that life that you've envisioned for yourself? Right? Once you create that plan, then you start taking action. Don't just plan. Take action, because the action is what's going to enable the vision come to pass. Without action, nothing works. The reason you are watching this video today is because you took the action to press your phone. If you keep your phone there and tell your phone, hey, play that video. It's not going to answer you, right? You have to wish out for it, unless you are using Siri. But still, you still need to navigate to where the video is and open it and stay to watch it. You won't stay. You won't be watching a movie, a TV program, and expecting to get the benefit of what this particular training is doing for you right now, right? So it's very important. See, I cannot stress how important these two steps are. Having a compelling future for yourself, creating your own, intentionally creating the vision you want for your life. Just create it. Just see it in here. This is one of the things that's really helped me in my journey. Like, still to this day, it's the reason why I will never settle for a life I don't want, because there's something in here that is just calling, that I'm just seeing every time I go to bed. I just see this thing, this picture, this reality that is inside here, this imaginary reality. And I don't know if I will ever achieve it, but just having that gives me something to pursue in life, and it gives me purpose. It gives me something that drives me. So that's why you having a plan, a compelling future for your life is very, very important. The first step of creating success. Then you go to the second step, create a plan on how you can achieve that result. Just like if you say you want to be a doctor, then okay, how are you going to become a doctor? You have to go to school and read very hard to ensure that you pass all your results and really get the accreditation that is needed to become a doctor, right? Then once you start taking the action that will get you to becoming a doctor. That is, when I say action, right, I want you to really understand something about action. Action is simply really developing the right habits that will enable you create that life you want for yourself. Because the truth is this, our habits really shape our destinies. The habits you have today is what's going to shape your destiny. Nothing is going to shape it than the habits you have. If your habits is the habits of spending time watching movies all the time, not really spending any time to develop yourself, to increase your knowledge bank, or trying to improve yourself in any way, you will never ever get to the reality you've created for yourself, right? If your habit is all about gossiping, watching social media gossips, and jumping from a casual blog to this one blog to this funny video to this one, you will never ever get to that reality. Because it's not going to miraculously come, right? So your habit is the action. I'm busy. Your habit is the action that you really need to develop for yourself. Your habits. That's what's going to get you to the life. Then once you create the right plan and start taking the action and developing the habits that will get you there, the third step is you have to pay attention to the feedbacks you are getting. The feedbacks. There are certain feedbacks you will be getting when you are taking the actions that is you've created, right? When you start following that plan that you've created, taking the actions that will get you to that result, there are certain feedbacks you'll get. For instance, you will run into temporary defeats, certain failures along the way, certain things that will make you want to feel like, oh, this thing is not working, right? You have to start paying attention to the feedback you are getting, so that you will know that if those actions you are taking is actually working. Are the actions you're taking, is it working? Right? I'll give you an instance. So let's say, okay, you want to be a musician. Let's say you want to be a musician. That's your dream. That's a compelling future you've created for yourself. Then you've created a plan on how you can be a musician, right? And you started trying to sing music, right? Posting music on social media, trying to show people your talent. And then you are not getting the traction you are looking for. If you're not paying attention to the actions you're taking, you are just going to be mindlessly, posting contents without really strategizing. Okay, this style of content is not functioning for me. Okay, should I go and learn another style of content that will help me get to this result? So when you are paying attention to the strategy you are using, then you'll be able to know if that thing is working or not. If it's not working, then all you need to do is the fourth step. That is, change your approach. You constantly change your approach. This one does not work, you change it. This one does not work, you change it. You constantly change your approach until you get the particular strategy that works. That is to say, step one, you've created a compelling future for yourself. Step two, you've created a plan and you've started taking the actions that will enable that future come to pass, right? To achieve that future you've created for yourself. Then step three, you pay attention to the feedback you're getting. Oh, you try this strategy, it doesn't work. Oh, what? You start asking, why is this thing not working? Why is this thing not working? You ask these questions, because when you don't ask this question, it's the same reason why so many people realize that after like 30 years, they've been in the same sport, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and they are expecting things to change. But Einstein called that insanity, right? When you are doing the same thing over and over, you're repeating the same actions over and over and over and over and over, and you're expecting things to change. The reason why you are doing that is because you are not paying attention to the actions you are taking. This action I took, did it work? What's the feedback I got? Oh, okay, it almost worked, but I think this thing, I need to change this part of it. Okay, let me change this part of the action. Oh, let me try again. It almost worked again. Oh, okay, maybe this part again. For me, because I'm a programmer, so when you are building programs, there's what they call, you test that program. You test to see. I'm forgetting the word they use. So you test to see, okay, maybe your program does not work the way you want it. So you start, why is this word escaping me? You start testing it to know why is this thing not working. So when you start asking this question, why is this not working? You check all your codes, you check your codes, oh, this line, I didn't do this one well. Let me change the line for this code. You write that line again and test it again. Oh, it didn't work. You change it, you go online, you search. Why is this not working? You ask until you finally figure out. At the end of the day, maybe you are just supposed to put comma in one place, you now put column or you put dash. That's the reason why that thing is not working. But because you are conscious about your feedbacks, you'll be able to quickly change your strategy, right? Which is the first step, and retest you take that action, right? So that you don't get stuck in this loop of constantly doing the same thing over and over and over and over that's not getting you the results you want. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. If it makes sense to you guys, let me know in the comment section, because it's very, very important you get this. This is the formula for success in anything you want to achieve at all. If you follow this same process, you are going to achieve that. I don't care whatever that goal is. I don't care how big of a goal you've set for yourself. If you follow the same process, whereby number one, you've clearly identified the goal you want to achieve. Secondly, you create a plan and start taking the actions that will enable you to achieve that goal. Thirdly, you start paying attention to the feedback you're getting as you're taking those actions. And fourthly, you change your approach and you try. You change your approach, you try. You change your approach, you try. Change your approach, you try. Change your approach, you try. You keep trying till you succeed. But I want to give you a simple secret that will enable you speed this entire process. It's one secret that I found in my life that I don't joke with, guys. I don't joke with this secret at all. This secret I want to share with you guys. A lot of people, because when I was younger, I made this mistake a lot of times. It's one of the things that it kept me stuck in one way of thinking for a very long time, because I know the life I want to create, but I didn't really have the right plan. So I was just testing different plans, right? I would hear that this one was working, I would test it. I would hear that this one was working, I would test it. I was testing different people's plans, right? Without really understanding this secret I want to give you, because I didn't understand the secret I want to give you. The secret is this: in order for you to speed up your success faster, if you want to speed up the results, the outcome, if you want to speed it up faster, the thing you need to do is find someone who already have that result in their life. Just find someone, anyone who you know that this person, it can be somebody around you who you know that this person has the result you want to achieve. If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a musician, if you want to be a lawyer, whatever thing you want to be, right? Find that person, this person is very successful at this field, and ask them a question. How did you get here? If it requires you to pay them. Say, please, take this money. This is all I have. Take this money, please. The reason why I pay you this money is because I just want you. I love what you are doing. I love the life you're living. And I just want you to tell me how you got here. What are the steps you took to get here? Will you agree with me that if I achieve a result after failing, I've had enough experience that would enable me achieve that result faster next time when I want to achieve that result? For instance, you program something for the first time. You are going to run into a lot of issues. But after you finish that process, when you want to do that same website again, or you want to build that same app again, you ain't going to face that same challenges, because you already know the steps you took that got you there. You already know the formula, the codes you wrote that got you there. So what I'm saying is this: success leaves clue, meaning that if that person agrees to say, okay, wow, I love this your tendency, because most people will agree. Most people who really have, who know what they did to get to the result they have. I'm not talking about some selfish, this selfish-minded individual. There are a lot of people out there who really have suffered to get a result, and they will be willing, to give you the secret of their success. They're willing. If you can have an interview with them, if you can have a conversation with them, if you can pay them, to give you that time, because time is something that is not free, right? So pay people for speed. Find somebody who already have the results you want to achieve in your life. Pay them to get the steps that they took to get that result. This will enable you, avoid the uncertainty of which step do I need to take? Oh, which one do I try to figure it out on your own, which will take you years, right? Because all you need to do is take the person's proven strategy and start implementing it in your own life, right? Because now, guess what you have? You've created, okay, you've identified a compelling feature for yourself, you've created a plan for yourself, and you've gotten a strategy that works, the one that's been tested, that actually works, right? So this one has been tested and actually works. So guess what? I don't have to go through the process of trying to figure it out on my own again. All I need to do is use that strategy, use it over and over and over and over and over, persist until I succeed. And I will be able to succeed faster than the other person who's trying to figure it out on their own. It's one secret that really changed my entire life.